Good afternoon, it's 1 o'clock. I'm Tiago Silva and this is our Soul Sports News. Over to the Six Nations Rugby, England are lucky to make it 2 wins out of 2 on Sunday. Chris Ashton has been named in the 15-man squad for the first time since 2013, as England play France at Twickenham on Sunday. England have won 9 out of the last 12 Six Nations meetings against France. There is a lot going on in the world of football this weekend, both on and off the pitch. Our reporter, Jake Smith, provides us with a roundup.
Thank you, Tiago. There is a busy schedule of football ahead of us this weekend involving all 4 of our South Coast sides in the Football League. But before we preview those fixtures, some breaking pieces of news from elsewhere in the footballing world. Earlier this morning it was reported by Brazilian media outlets that 10 people had died and at least 3 more injured, following a large fire at the youth training complex of one of South America's biggest football clubs, Flamengo. It is thought that the blaze originated in the dormitories as the players were sleeping, but it is unknown at this point how it started. We'll keep you updated on this story throughout the day as we get it. Elsewhere, the body of Cardiff City striker Emiliano Sala was confirmed to have been recovered yesterday following a positive identification process by the HM coroner of Dorset. Following on from this devastating news, the 28-year-old's former club, FC Nantes, in France have decided to retire their number 9 jersey in his memory. Sticking with the Bluebirds of Cardiff then, they travel to St Mary's tomorrow in what has already been publicised as a potential relegation 6-pointer. Cardiff remain 3rd from bottom and in the drop zone, while the Saints sit uncomfortably just 2 points higher in 16th. Southampton manager Ralph Hasenhüttl claims that the January window was a tough time to try and sign players.
I still believe that there would be 1 or 2 players that fits to us, but it doesn't work in the winter because we were clear with the player, but the clubs didn't want to give him away. So we have to accept this, but you can be sure that we stay on working on these players because I want to have players that make us better.
Also in the Premier League tomorrow afternoon, AFC Bournemouth have a tough away tie at title contenders Liverpool, whilst Brighton and Hove Albion host Burnley at the Amex Stadium. That match kicks off at the later time of 5:30 and will be shown live on BT Sport. Down in League One, there is another huge game taking place involving Portsmouth. They travel to Home Park where Plymouth Argyle await them. Pompey had been top of the 3rd tier for 3 months. That was until Luton replaced them at the summit just 2 weeks ago, following a huge dip in form for Kenny Jackett's side. Blues boss Jackett believes that tomorrow's game at Plymouth could be one of the biggest games of the season so far.
Yeah, I think attention always has been on the league, definitely, and you know, when the league games come around, we all know and all do think inside the club that that is our priority, and you know, it's no different. But Saturday's game against Plymouth is a big one. An informed side, great games between Plymouth and Portsmouth generally, competitive games, good quality games since I've been here. You know, very good. So I'm sure Saturday will be exactly the same.
And that wraps up this weekend's local football preview. Don't forget to find us online at solentjournalism.co.uk to keep up to date with what's going on around the football scene.
With the local derby at Aldershot on the horizon this Saturday, Eastleigh have plenty of motivation to keep their promotion push going. Our reporter Adam White went down to the Silver Lake Stadium this week, where manager Ben Stevens remains grounded despite their impressive National League standing. You can hear the full story on the Spitfires at 4. A familiar face is returning to the Olympic fold. The International Paralympic Committee has reinstated Russia after a 29-month ban. This happened after the country implemented 69 new measures, including extensive anti-doping tests. The Russian vote was unanimous, despite the RPC's lack of response to the McLaren report. All horse racing across the UK has been cancelled until next Wednesday. An outbreak of equine flu has led the British Horse Racing Authority to suspend all scheduled races until the 13th at the earliest. Outbreaks of disease often occur when susceptible horses are congregated and housed in contact with each other. Symptoms include fever, loss of appetite, lethargy, a runny nose, swollen neck glands and a cough. Romain Grosjean is eyeing 4th position on the F1 Constructors' Championship with Ants this season. The American squad are the first to reveal their 2019 car, which sports a new black and gold colour scheme. Grosjean has revealed that the fresh design brings back some good old memories.
They are iconic colours in motorsport and they bring a lot of good memories back. Last time I was standing on the podium I was wearing gold and black, and I hope I can do that again. I think we want to do better than last year, and do better is keeping an eye on 4th in the Constructor Championship.
Rock climbing is a sport on the rise. Our reporter Adam Holmes has more on the story at 4 o'clock. The Ultimate Fighting Championship is returning to Australia. UFC 234 takes place tomorrow, where native Robert Whittaker will defend his middleweight belt against Kelvin Gastelum. This event will also feature the return of legend Anderson Silva, who will face Israel Adesanya in what promises to be a clash for the ages. Anthony Joshua is likely to miss Wembley. This comes after heavyweights promoter Eddie Hearn disclosed that the Madison Square Garden bout is the most likely outcome for Joshua. This fight would be against Gerald Miller, a New York native that looks to become champion. England are preparing to avoid a whitewash. The third test between England and the West Indies will take place tomorrow in St. Lucia, as England are looking for some redemption. The Windies have already secured the Test series 2-0, as captain Jason Holder has been suspended for the third test after having a slow overrate in Antigua. However, there is some injury doubt for England in the lead-up to the game. All-rounder Ben Stokes is set to undergo a late fitness test ahead of the fixture after bruising his right heel. It is thought that the 27-year-old may have sustained the injury in fairly unorthodox fashion whilst running along the beach at the St. Lucia base camp. Juliana Lowe with more.
Yeah, so obviously that Ben Stokes is a huge blow because he's one of England's greatest all-rounders, and the pitch seems to be looking towards seam. So we're going to see what happens, and we're going to see who's going to come in for Ben Stokes, but hopefully England can avoid disappointment and pull it back to do 2-1. Thanks.
That's all from us. I'll be back in an hour. Remember, you can keep up with us on Twitter and on our website solentjournalism.co.uk.